Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to work on a simple project in Visual Basic because, that's what we do here. And we're going to be using Visual Studio. What we're going to do today is we're going to make a very, very, very simple calculator app. Like, it's not going to be a full calculator, it's going to be two user input numbers that pops out the answer. Um, so why these kind of projects are useful is because sometimes you don't really need a full calculator. What you need is a set equation to give an actual answer for, like, say for instance, you run a business and you want to calculate your uh your base price or base cost for an item. Say for instance, maybe you can vegetables every fall, and you want to know how much it costs per can to start setting a retail price or a wholesale price for your canned goods. You may put in like the number of cans you made, produced, the cost of the goods, and the time it took you, and then you'd get back a base price or something like that. So this is why these kind of simple programs are important and good to have, and they're just really functional. Like, that's typically for me, like, when I code things, what I normally code is things to make my personal life easier. So I would code a program like this just to make, you know, my life easier. I actually might really do one because my partner does can things, and it's a real life example. Or like, if you have pets or if you have a farm or whatever, you may want to know the cost of your livestock or the cost of your profit or whatever, like those kind of things. You can really see quickly once you put in these equations what your answers are without having to stop and futz around with it all the time. Like, you can just get it really quickly. And if you put some bells and whistles on it, you got an app basically. So I mean, it is what it is. So anyway, we're going to get started. And what we're going to do first is we're going to think through the program. Okay, yeah. So the first part is we want to code adding, multiplying, subtracting, and dividing. And what we want to happen is that we want to have the user input two numbers. Yep. And then on button click of one of these, add, sub, multiply, divide. Then you'll have user num1 and num2 action, and then output it in a label. Okay, so that's what's gonna happen. I know it sounds kind of silly, but we wrote it out. That's what's gonna happen. Like, nice and easy. And this is just a good practice to get into for when you get things that are way more complicated than this. Like, yes, this is simple. We don't really need this like written out, but when you start having multiple steps, it will become quite necessary. So let's get started with this. Let's open our Visual Basic here, and we're going to our Visual Studios here. We're going to make a new project. Um, we'll do a Windows Form app like we always do. Click next. We'll call it Mini Calc 2 because I did it last night, but you don't want the last night's video. Um, you don't want that in your life. All right, so let's go. Um, you working and doing what? What am I supposed to be doing right now, Visual Basic? Like, what do you mean continue working while it's loading the background? I'm just sitting here waiting for you. Anyway, so one of the things that I really, really, really like about Visual Basic, and I will say it over and over again, or Visual Studio anyway, because you can code C# with Visual Studio if you'd like to. You don't have to use Visual Basic, but um, Visual Studio allows you to see what it looks like in the beginning, and I really appreciate that. If nothing else, like, Visual basically be clunky and weird and silly and not very used or whatever. But if you want to look like something, like if you want to look like something really quickly, then by all means, like, this is the best way to go. So that's really what I like about it more than anything else. So yeah, so I'm gonna call this Mini Cal. Oops, I'm gonna call it Mini Calculator. All right. And now we're going to start putting our crap in. So let's go to View, Toolbox. Now we need, let's see what we need first. We need two text entry boxes right here. And oops, that's the wrong button. Um, I can undo that. Let's undo that. Copy, paste. Okay. I clicked the X button, so I like clicked to delete it. Oops. Okay, and now we need a button. Actually, we need five buttons. So here's button one. Copy, paste, 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 paste. There we go. Now we have five buttons. Let's stick these jokers over here for now. I'm gonna go in order because it just is easier. There. 1, 2, 5. Okay. And now we're going to put in a label here. All right, so we have everything we need here, and now we're gonna just shrink this little box to the right size. We can square this up in a minute. Let's do this. Let's also go ahead and do some more labels to label the boxes, like number one, number two, that kind of thing. And then like answer. It's not important, but we're doing it anyway. And these won't probably not be labeled because they're not necessary. They're not going to change. They're just going to be static items. So on label one, let's remove the text. Well, we'll leave the text here for a second. Let's do, oh, excuse me. We'll call this label LBL answer, number one, and then we'll also remove the auto size. So let's take off the auto size. And I also want to give it a visual border just because I kind of want to. It has no basis on anything, but it might make it border style right here. It just makes it more cohesive. Like, you know where the answer is going to be, so it is what it is. It can't be that long because, whatever. I'm also like really sorry if you can hear a noise in the background. My it's the TV in the other room. So if you can hear that, I'm really sorry. I hope it's not disturbing you. But if you can't hear it, then disregard this message. Okay, so this is number one. Okay, and then this is number two. I guess you could put like something else, but we'll call it this for now. It's fine. One, number two, and then this is answer. Um, and yeah, so we'll put that there. No, put that here, I guess. I also want to make this box a bit bigger, just in case we have like more info. Just kind of whatever. That's fine. That's good enough for me. All right. So let's now label the buttons. Button one will be add, and we'll call it BTN add. Next one we'll call it BTN sub. Doesn't matter. And then we'll label it subtract. Okay. And next one we'll call it multiply. And the name will be BTN multi or molt. We'll do molt. And we'll do the next one, BTN divide div. That's fine. And then we will for the text. And the last button will be our favorite button, the exit button. And then we'll call it BTN exit. Okay, so that's all done. And I want to fix this real quick. I want to format horizontal, vertical spacing. Oh, I can't do that. Why can I not do it? Oh, it's not doing it. Why is that? That's weird. Oh my. Okay, that's not what I wanted either. We're gonna have to delete all of that. Let's see. No, not there. Okay, let's do all that. I don't want that to happen. Okay. So why is it? I don't know what that was about. So let's try this again. Let's do it this way. Let's do it the easy way, I guess. I don't know. Um, it's still not working. None of them are working. Why are they not working? That is so strange. That is so weird. I don't know why that's not working today. Maybe I'm pressing the wrong button. Let's try that. Okay, that's weird. I was pressing the control button instead of the shift button. So just for a word of advice, if you're gonna do that, the whole like aligning thing, press the shift button, not the control button. Um, so let's do make equal. There we go. And now we've got that set on the side and then our number box on the other side, like we're ready to go. All right, so let's save it real quick. Save all so we know where we are. And let's go into the form one. So before we get into any of the code, let's go ahead and code our exit button. My favorite button to code. I do it first every single time. It's just like a thing that does. It's not a big deal, right? So let's just do that one first. Me close. There you go. So it's done. Now let's kind of get an idea of like what we want may need to happen. Like let's go back to our process. When we're looking at this, what has to happen? We have to take the input from each number text box, turn it into a uh, integer or integer, decimal, or double, whatever you want to pick. I'm gonna pick double for reasons. Um, I'll probably explain the next video because we're almost out of time here. But we're going to parse the data inside the boxes, and then we're going to make the equation based on which one you clicked, and it's going to output the answer right over here. So that's what we're going to do in the next video. We might go ahead and set it up a little bit. Let's go ahead and set up the basic one. Let's set up what has to happen so we know where we're going to start when we get back. So let's start with button add, just because that's the first one in there. So we'll start there, and we will say first step first is to parse data from inputs, and then input text boxes, whatever. And then we'll say, okay, we've parsed the data from input text boxes. Now we make equation addition, and now we output to label, output answer to label. Now, one thing I thought about when I was thinking about it, do we or do we not want to clear the text boxes afterwards? We'll say, we'll just put it here just in case. Possibly clear text boxes as a setup for our next question. All right, so that's where we're going to leave off for right now. This is what we have to do when we get back. And I hope this was a helpful video to you, and I hope that like you're learning something from this, and I hope that you enjoyed it. I will see you guys in the next one, and until then, have a good day.